Took control of the game there in the second half. We played real good defense. I challenged the defense this week. I challenged them last night. They accepted that challenge, quite evident in their performance today. Pretty much from beginning to end, pretty dominant performance by our defense. Offensively in the first half I was a little disappointed. We didn't have the execution that we had been accustomed to having of late. We still were able to go into the locker room with a 13-0 lead, but we were capable of doing more. And then in the second half, I thought we really took control of the football game. I want to acknowledge, I thought Rhode Island played really hard. They're extremely banged up and thin right now with their roster. Their quarterback did not play. They had a lot of things stacked against them here tonight. I think it's important for our football team here to remain humble and hungry as we head into the stretch run here with a big home game next week against Delaware. Defensively, it's a little easier to have a little time away and then to come back and execute at a high level. Offensively, there's a little more into that, a little more timing involved, and we just didn't quite have the focus or the execution that we've been accustomed to. Was it the bye week? Was it the fact that we hadn't had quite as many practices, leading in? I think it could have been a combination of all of those things. In addition to that, we came off a big win 2 weeks ago against James Madison. I'd like to think our guys were prepared and focused for this game, but all those things may have factored in a little bit for our inability to start fast offensively. Well, I'm very honest individual about communicating with my student athletes. And, we have 3 losses this season. In the 3 losses, we gave up 43, 44, and 45 points. And that's, you can't do that. And as we get down the stretch here, the thought would be, we're going to have to win a close, low-scoring football game. And, you never know how these games are going to play out. 13-0 at half, had the makings of a close, low-scoring football game. So that was one area there. I think the other thing that I spoke most specifically about was it defies logic a little bit for us to be as good as we are this year taking the ball away. For our numbers to be as significant as they are with our takeaways, but for our overall total yardage and points per game not to mirror that a little bit more. So I felt that those two things need to be a little more consistent, and obviously tonight would be the perfect storm with 5 takeaways and 0 points. Well, I don't know. I mean, we got some guys that see the ball. I mean, really, in all honesty, in order to intercept the football and to be ball disruptive, you have to be ball aware. And we talk an awful lot about being ball aware. And our guys are very aware of where the ball is, how the ball carriers are carrying the ball, where the ball's being thrown in the passing game. I think tonight the biggest thing was really the pressure that we applied to their quarterback. He was under duress. I'm not going to say on all of those throws that were for interception, but he was under duress an awful lot, throwing off his back foot. Some of those balls were batted and deflected, and we were opportunistic in our ability to intercept the football. Very, disappointed that we didn't come out of this open date with a little more production. I don't really I don't really second-guess what we did or then the decision that I made in moving forward. I think that it was evident that, something had to be done. So basically we came into the open date with an open competition. We statted and charted all the kicks. We went back and studied everything from the season, looked at the statistics. And it was still kind of pretty even in terms of what the 2 kickers did this week during the open date and this week in our preparation. Decided to let Will Kamen handle the extra points and let Remy do the field goals tonight, but Will was unsuccessful. So I was kind of playing it from series to series as to what we were going to do. And then to your question, I'd say here at the end of the night, I'm really leaning pretty strong towards Remy returning back, kicking for us, extra points and field goals, and then let Will really focus on kickoffs and some special kicks, onside kick, et cetera, et cetera. I'm disappointed that we didn't have the execution. You know, it didn't cost us tonight, but we're certainly going to have to be more efficient here next week.